Hi, this is Joe. I will just kind of let him dive in and go ahead and get started and talk about his background a little bit.
I grew up with my grandparents. My parents worked from when I was a baby till I was around 6 or 7. And my grandmother and I only spoke Spanish. And I had trouble communicating with my mom because she did not speak English. My dad, he was bilingual, so he had to translate a lot of my words to my mom. I knew a very small amount of English, but it was more difficult to make friends and everything because I grew up in a suburb and there wasn't a lot of Spanish or bilingual people, and I ended up. My grandmother ended up passing away, so it was a lot harder for my parents to raise me versus somebody that spoke Spanish. So they ended up asking one of their good friends, my aunt, to start watching me after school. And her and I had a very, very long relationship. She had to help me learn, or she was teaching me English. So it became a little bit more difficult to process the two, and by the time I was around 5, I started speaking more and more English. And from there, by the time I was in about 7, around 5th grade, 4th grade, whatever that group is, I ended up mixing words and not being able to really comprehend what teachers were asking me. I didn't know if I was supposed to learn Spanish and English, or I was just confused.
I had a speech impediment actually, so I grew up obviously speaking English, but I know where you're coming from with that because I actually couldn't say my R's in school. So it's definitely difficult when you do have a speech impairment and you're a kid and you're trying to make friends. Do you think that's the most difficult part of?
Yeah, I had to go through what is it called, phonics, speech impairment classes, so because I couldn't say like my CH's or my SH's. And it's like whenever I said R, it just rolls. I was rolling R's. It doesn't matter what the word was, but
speaking Spanish, yeah.
it was just automatically just.
That's funny.
And so going through that 5th grade mostly, by the time I was almost 7, 8, I learned more and more English, and because I didn't practice Spanish, I started to actually lose the dialogue and the ability to speak more proper Spanish. There's a big difference, more slang versus proper.
So you feel you've forgotten a lot of it?
Probably, yeah, I lost a lot, but I can understand anybody that speaks to me. It's just the ability to say the words back. I'm like,
it's in there somewhere.
I was like trying to roll the index in there, and I'm like, it's not working right now. So
yeah,
it sucked for a long time because it made a huge gap in between my parents and I, especially my mom. And especially like since now speak a lot more English and less Spanish, so it kind of flip-flopped in between my mom and my dad, because him and I used to talk Spanish with each other, and that was our quote-unquote bonding type of moments as a kid. And other than that, we had my mom, when she got left out a lot of the conversations because she couldn't understand me.
I can imagine. It's tough.
So me learning English as a second language as a kid was substantial. It was like my vocabulary grew every day, and with my mom just practicing, she was helping me read ever since after I got done with 5th grade with the phonics and all that, it just boosted that confidence with that. It was like people were can't really speak English or Spanish. What is he trying to say? It's an embarrassment, kind of, but like people are like, why can't you say SHs or CHs when you're reading out loud? I was like, there's something in there that just ain't twitching.
And
But-
so you finally, I mean, obviously you can say them now. So
Yeah,
it just took some time to.
it took time to learn the like the chas and all that stuff, and it was more difficult because in Spanish there's multiple ways of saying the same word, but changing like the ES or AS, male
Right,
versus female.
right.
And with English, it was like the A's had different levels of
Right.
A and like the O's and all those the vowels.
It's very different.
It was it was a lot different. So
Yeah.
it took me in for a world. And that was my setback because of all those. I'm like, I don't know which word. I know the word, but I don't know if the O goes up or it goes down or. So
Well,
it
it's
took a while.
beneficial that you learn English and Spanish living in Arizona, especially.
No,
So that's a great part about it.
Order tacos and enchiladas all you want. You know what you're
That's
saying.
so true. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for teaching us a little bit about your background.